Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. It's Richard Wade from ruralcrimes.com, and I'd like to welcome you all back to the channel. If I may make a quick request, please, before we get cracking here, and I introduce my guest to you from the United States of America. My request is very straightforward. These talks, these chats, these info videos are getting quite a bit of traction of late, but we only get further traction if people interact with our content, if you subscribe to our channel and leave comments on our video. And that's my request today, please. If you can spare a moment to subscribe to the Rural Crime and Farm Safety Training channel on YouTube, that would be very, very much appreciated. And if you find the content interesting, then by all means, leave some comments and questions if required, and we'll come back to you as soon as possible. So thanks for that. I'm really excited today because I've got some wonderful guests about to join me. I'm very honored, actually, and I think we're quite privileged to have people joining us from America today and from the organization called Ceres Tag. I'm not going to try and explain what the guys do, but that will become very clear. But it's very exciting, it's very innovative, and makes a huge difference in the fight against rural crime across the globe. So I'd like to introduce now, if I may please, David Smith, who is the founder and the Chief Executive Officer of Ceres Tag, and Ryan Billman, who is the Law Enforcement and Sales Lead from Ceres Tag. So if I may please bring those gentlemen into shot. Guys, hi, you're both in shot now. David and Ryan, welcome, and let's get cracking on our channel. How's it going? And just for the audience, where are you joining us from? David, where are you at the moment?
Yeah, I'm coming to you from Kansas City, and nice pleasure to be on your show, Richard.
Well, thank you. No, the pleasure's all ours. It really is, and I do appreciate your time. And Ryan, are you also in the US at the moment, or are you elsewhere?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Rich, for having us today. I'm out of Lubbock, Texas, the Texas Panhandle.
Right, gotcha. Exactly where we are. So that's absolutely fantastic. So what I was hoping to do, David, if I may start with your good self as the founder and the Chief Executive Officer of Ceres Tag, would you give us a bit of an insight as to what Ceres Tag's all about? And I think importantly for the audience here in the United Kingdom and across Europe and indeed wider afield, how did it all start? Where did the idea come from? And just give us a bit of a potted history, please.
Sure. Thanks, Richard. So Ceres Tag was formed in 2016. The family operated some cattle in Australia. We saw the opportunity to improve traceability and performance monitoring of livestock, but we realized the only way to do that at a scalable form and with good connectivity is to do that via satellite. We had also experienced some stock theft from time to time, and it was really detrimental to our herd. So it was fundamentally one of the things that we wanted to rectify in what we were developing. So the satellite connectivity, which gives us that plug and play and unlimited sight of the animals at any time, was really fundamental to the development of this particular platform, which not only notifies where the animals are, but also how they are. So things like high activity alerts, low activity alerts, and also performance monitoring like pasture feed intake.
Right, got it. So it's wider than just where they are. So you detect movement, and if I'm hearing you correctly, things that are out of the norm, unusual movement. I mentioned earlier that I was discussing what we were going to talk about with a colleague of mine, and I think he made a glib comment. I think he was just joking, but he said, "Yeah, but the thieves will just cut the ears if you got a tag in a cattle ear. They'll just cut their ears off." And Ryan, it's not an issue, is it? Because it will account for that, I'm sure.
No, that's not an issue at all. When a tag is cut, it's going to send off a notification immediately of no activity. So law enforcement or the rancher, whoever has access to that account, will be notified, and they can take precautionary measures after that point.
Got it. I'm going to put links to all of your information on the internet later on, so people can actually see the tags, and I'll probably bring a couple of pictures in later on, actually, so people can see exactly what we're talking about. Could you take me through the process then of, let's say we've got a huge herd, because, you know, again, over in where you are, Texas, USA, Australia, we're talking massive herds, far bigger than what we experience across here in the UK. How does it work practically then? So if I'm the owner of thousands and thousands of cattle, how do I protect them? How many of these ear tags do I require? And take me through the process, Ryan, of protecting my herd.
So obviously, the more the better, but we recommend 10 to 30% of your herd be tagged. That we do that just because, you know, if that amount of cows are being moved a certain way, you're going to get a notification because the herds follow each other. And so when tags are put on, they set up a 6-day baseline to learn the cow that they're on. And so at that point, anything that deviates from that baseline set, the owner of the cows will be notified, whether they breach a geofence, high activity alert, predators, you name it. Anything that goes against that baseline is a notification.
Got it. So we set the baseline that tells the system this is what you should be expecting to happen, and anything outside of that, that's going to trigger alerts. And the alerts then, are we talking to mobile phones or text alert? How does that play?
So the software you choose, you can set up where the notifications go, whether it be email or text. It's all up to the customer and their software. They can program their notifications however they see fit.
Brilliant stuff. Okay, what I'd like to do then is we have a little presentation to show to people, don't we? So let me bring up that presentation. Then we're gonna, there we go. So we're down this side. So Ryan, I'll hand over to your good self. You can take control of that, and the floor's all yours, sir.
Perfect. So like I was just saying, Ceres Tag works by setting up a baseline. 3 events that happen that trip notifications, whether it be a cow being pressured outside a boundary or when a tag is removed, are crucial when it comes to battling livestock theft. It's in Texas, we have issues on the Oklahoma-Texas border quite regularly of cattle theft. And so these notifications are extremely beneficial to ranchers and law enforcement. How the tag works, aside from law enforcement, you'll get 4 data packages every 6 hours a day. And that'll be all your health, the animal health intelligence side. So what David was talking about, pasture feed intake. But if any of those alerts are set, it'll trip those. Those will be live alerts, and they'll recur every 5 to 10 minutes until they are back in a normal situation. And so this next video that I'm going to show you is there was a ranch in Utah who was experiencing cattle theft regularly for quite a while. And they put our tags on, and at that point, we were able to track a cattle theft happening. And when the video is played, you'll see that they go up to the Idaho state line and come back double as fast. And since that day, when they saw the tags on there, that ranch has had 0 cattle theft. So it leaves a legacy with it as well.
Right. Okay. That's so I'll bring that video in now, and so people are actually going to see the movement of what actually occurred. That's fantastic. Let me bring that in, Ryan, and get that to play. Over to yourself.
So as you can see, it goes up to the state line. It comes back double as fast when they realized they were in trouble. So not only did we know who the suspects were, but we also got the cows back, which is double as good.
Let me just play that once more then. So I do apologize. I've clicked through the wrong one, haven't I? Let me just go back slightly. Bear with me. Yeah, it's coming back pretty quick, isn't it? PDQ. Let's bring that. So what? So when it was moving up away, then is that someone stealing the cattle? Is that theft in progress?
Yes, that was an actual theft in progress. They're driving down the highway. That notification was sent to the rancher when that high activity started, and I don't know if it was at a gas station when they realized the tags were on, but they must have looked up what the tag was when they were at the gas station and just hightailed it back.
I love it. So they actually bought them back as well. So
Yeah.
the thieves came back to return the booty. I love that. That's fantastic. But you made a very interesting comment there. I'll put the presentation back on in a moment. You made a really, really interesting observation that put a stop to it, because I'm assuming the word gets out pretty quick, isn't it? And
So,
you know, do not nick our stuff. Let me bring your presentation back in there.
I also want to talk about, aside from theft, when it comes to cattle fraud, the United States experiences over $1 billion with a B in cattle fraud a year when it comes to ghost cows and lenders handing out money to go get cows and the cows never are there. And so we're in talks with lenders right now across the United States when it comes to implementing these with the loans, the ag loans they give out. So not only do the ranchers have their cows, but the banks know exactly what's going on, and no one's getting in trouble.
Wow, okie dokie. You have control of that, Ryan. If you want to fast forward it, yeah. Thanks for that.
Just how the tag works, just a little background of it. So the device collects information such as GPS, location, pasture feed intake, the things David was talking about. The data is transmitted to satellites. Unusual behavior alerts are transmitted as needed when any of those baselines are breached. The satellite then transmits data to any platform. We're incorporated with many different platforms, so we're not going to go out and sell the tag and be like, oh, buy our software as well. We want to be very easy to use for these ranchers, so whatever software they're using, we're getting integrated with all of them. And then the data is made available through visualizations, and so whatever your software looks like, you'll be able to see that data from the Ceres tag on your computer.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing.
So I'll turn it over to David here to talk about more of the health side of it, and I'll that go along with the law enforcement side.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Thanks, Ryan. So not only are we doing direct to satellite, so you don't need any infrastructure to see the animals, but we're actually monitoring the activities of those animals as well. So there are the high activity and the no activity alerts, but in addition, we do on board is the machine learning, which enables us to have algorithms on board the actual device itself, which is calculating all the time. So with one of the algorithms called pasture feed intake, we're actually able to measure the kilograms dry matter intake per animal per day. And that enables us to estimate the methane emissions of each individual animal, which is for the first time you can do all of this. So on pasture, measuring the amount that the animal is consuming and converting that to dry matter intake is absolutely critical for if you want to start establishing what your feed conversion efficiency of your animal are. By combining that intake information with, say, weight gain or milk production, you're able to then establish which are your most efficient animals in your herd. And why that matters is because that's your phenotypes for your genetic selection of your animals. And breaking it down to simple productivity and also profitability, it enables you to optimize your stocking rates and also reduce your emissions, which then enables you to create more profitability for your actual herd. So it's much more than just stock theft that we're doing. This is an incredible opportunity for us to improve our herd management across the board.
Wow. That is amazing. So it's as you say, it's much wider than theft and stock going missing.
Biosecurity as well is a huge one. In the United States, we're dealing with New World screwworm right now at this moment. At the Mexico border, we're trying to keep it contained. Also, when it comes to trick, right now I'm working with the state of New Mexico to try to implement Ceres Tag. The trick problem in New Mexico is quite large, and so they're looking at Ceres Tag from a biosecurity standpoint to see which bull contacts what cow, and we're able to do that based on our softwares. So you can know what bull went to which cow, and you'll know how that pathogen is spreading. And so when it comes to biosecurity on the border, whether it be with screwworm or any other disease, you'll be able to see how it's spreading and how it's proliferating.
All in real time. That's clever stuff, isn't it? That data and that information is far more than what I understood it to be. That's absolutely fascinating stuff. You know, when we're talking theft in particular on the rural crime side, what kind of scale, what's happening over there at the moment then? What kind of scale is the problem? Do we need this slides still on? I can drop them.
No, we don't need the slides.
Let me close that, and we'll come into a bigger view. Give me an idea of the scale of the issues then across, like, you know, where you are in the US and perhaps in Australia as well. Is it a huge issue? Is it a big problem?
We have millions of cows stolen a year here in the United States. That being said, you know, currently I'm working with Texas Southwestern cattle raisers. Their info has said that roughly each cattle theft involves 5 to 10 cows in smaller loads just to get in and out quicker. And that's why we recommend the 10 to 30%, because in that group, one or two will at least have the tag on it, and you'll be notified what's happening, and it keeps it more discreet as well. And so when it's in their trailer, the chance that when they're loading up that they see the tags goes down substantially.
Yeah. Do you does this come along with signage and warnings? Do you like keep off my land? I'm just thinking the scale of
yes, we actually have signs that help very much in deterrence. We have signs that are for the front gate or any gates you need, and when thieves see that sign, it most likely turns them away.
Well, they get to know about it, aren't they? Because the word of these things spread pretty quickly.
Absolutely.
I
wouldn't steal cows. I wouldn't steal cows with the satellite monitoring system on it.
No, me neither. You're gonna get caught, and of course, if the thieves aren't bright enough to notice that they've stolen tracked animals, they're going to find out pretty quickly that because law enforcement are coming knocking, aren't they? Because you're going to know exactly where they are.
Absolutely.
Is this so can this work globally? Is this literally your technology can work anywhere in the world?
Yes, correct me if I'm wrong, David. We're in 42 countries at the moment. And so no matter where you are, our satellites are able to reach those tags. Fantastic. And you'll be covered wherever you are.
Yeah. And obviously I'm not looking for specific numbers on cost, but is this a big and upfront investment? Because I'm guessing there's a big saving to be made, particularly when you mentioned, you know, typically 10 plus cattle being stolen at a time. It must balance itself out. It sounds to me like a pretty good investment. Is it very cost effective?
It is, especially with cattle prices the way they are now. We're having cows go for more than $5 a pound right now. So when it comes to what you're paying up front for the product, and they're redeployable as well, it's a no-brainer when it comes to saving your herd. Suggested retail is just below $200. And so when it comes to one generation of livestock, it's already paid for itself, and it's good for 3 years, and it's constantly redeployable within that 3 years.
Exactly. And then of course there's all those other benefits that you've talked about, pasture, methane. It's got so many add-on benefits on top of its track your cattle, as it were. Is it just for cattle? Is it used for sheep or other stock?
Yeah, absolutely. It is used with sheep as well, particularly meat sheep, probably more so than the small wool merinos.
Yeah,
that's because the sensor itself weighs around 30 grams or 1.5 ounces. So you need a reasonable size animal for it to be supported. But it's extensively used on wildlife. So we have it on everything from giraffes to rhinos to lions to rewilding of bison, elks, deer, nilgai. So there's no limit to the type of animal that this can be used on, as long as it can support that 30 grams
Yeah.
of weight on the
Well,
ear.
that's come left field. That surprised me. The giraffes and rhinos and things. Are we talking on animal conservation and
Absolutely.
game park tracking, that kind of stuff?
Absolutely.
That is a fascinating little snippet. Yeah.
Well, to give you just an example, we were part of the largest translocation of giraffe from Namibia to Mozambique. So that gives you an idea of the scale at which we can actually operate.
That is huge, man. Absolutely fantastic. Oh, well, there you go. So every day's a school day here, isn't it? So I think we've established it's so much more than crime prevention. Does a great job at that crime prevention activity as well. But all of these super bells and whistle add-ons, I can see why it's going around the world like crazy. So where I am, guys, I know you're over here. You're on the BBC not so long ago as well. So what are you doing in the United Kingdom? What's happening there?
Certainly, we've been active in the United Kingdom for the last 18 months, really. We're certainly wanting to be even more active. There is still a lot of rural crime and stock theft that occurs in your area, and also on continental Europe as well. So, we've been approached by the governments that see that this is becoming a trend that is continuing to increase as living standards are strained. It stresses people, and let's be frank, it is quite an easy thing to do, and most people don't report it because there's no evidence when it happens. So really, the only way you can really be able to prosecute someone or even catch them in the first place is if you have the evidence. And this certainly provides that for the people, and in a very automated and simple way.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty. I'm pretty much a techie guy. I love my technology and things that make things easy and simple to use, because the farmers, the ranchers, they're busy people and concentrating on their own sort of very, very busy lives. And something like this, that's relatively low cost entry, very easy to apply. I did look around your website, clip, and it's on, isn't it? And then as long as the animal can support that, obviously, and then kind of that's it. You're set up and you're being protected almost immediately, I guess, as soon as you've got it attached to your animal. So the simplicity of it is what really appeals to me, and I know that must appeal to a lot of people with their herds and their flocks of sheep. So it's here in the UK then, so I'm hoping we're probably going to see and hear a lot more of activity around Ceres Tag in the UK. I want to make sure, we're on the 23-minute point here, I want to make sure we haven't missed anything. So I'm going to open the floor to your good selves, David and Ryan, just to kind of wash up with the key points. What do you want people to know here in the UK, here in Europe, about the product, if we haven't covered it already?
I just want to say also another case we had was in South Africa. About a month, I forgot what the date, David, but you can clarify on that one. But the whole herd was stolen at gunpoint, and the rancher just said, "Let y'all go for it." But they had Ceres Tag on them, and we retrieved the whole herd as well.
Yeah, there you go. So no fear of intimidation. Yeah, take it. Yeah,
take it. We'll get them back.
No one will come and get you, but we'll come with the law enforcement as well. That's very interesting. Intimidation in the UK is quite an issue with regards to rural crime activities, and it's on a quite a big scale. Probably not by comparison to where you guys are, but it's still a major issue when people are in stealing, and it occurs with animals as well. The fear, the intimidation, the threat of violence. I think to be able to say, yeah, okay, off you go.
Yep.
That's a nice position for a farmer to be in.
And you're able to share share that data with whoever you want, whether it be your law enforcement agency, family members,
Yeah.
whoever's close. So whenever something does happen, they'll be notified as well immediately.
Oh God, are they on the alerts as well? Then is that how it's working? So
Yes, you can pick who receives your alerts.
Yeah, is that taken up? I'm curious about that now. So I could say in America in particular, then is law enforcement very closely related to knowing when it's occurring? Maybe they can be reacting before the farmers even aware his stuff's getting nicked in that case then.
Yes, I'm currently working with Texas Southwestern cattle raisers, coordinating stings across the state. But in South Texas, one of the special rangers shares all of his data with all of his deputies, so everyone's notified when something happens.
Wow, that is fantastic. It's that early alert. And of course, the message that sends out to the criminals as well is, we're protected. You keep away from our area, then you'll have your signs up as well. It becomes a criminal-free zone, hopefully. And then when it's breached, they're going to get caught, aren't they? Because if I'm hearing you correctly, guys, you've protected a percentage of your stock. It's going to be, you can't get away with it. You're going to get caught because
it's the legacy that it leaves.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So there we go. So we're just coming up to the 30-minute point, and I think unless there's any other particular points for you guys to mention, anything, David, that you'd like to throw in before I do my little wash up at the end here?
Just something very simple, Richard.
Yep.
By using our signs, livestock monitored by satellite, putting them up around all the gates and around your fences as well, and applying some of our tags, then we have, on the people who have done that, we've had 100% success in stopping rural crime on your livestock. And so it doesn't have to be expensive. Signs are very cheap to use, and then to use the tags strategically, you'll have a major effect.
Brilliant stuff. Well, that's absolutely fantastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop you guys out of shot just for a moment, please. If you're able to stay just for another moment, when we're finished, I'll come back on and I'll just have a quick final word with you good selves off recording. But thank you so much. It's been really, really interesting to me, and I've learned a lot. I thought I'd done a bit of research. I've been reading about your products tonight, but all those other things that you've thrown into the mix there just kind of fill the picture, and I now really get it. And that's going to be really interesting to people who watch this from here in the UK and across Europe. So thank you to you both. Really appreciate your time. Wish you all the very best. And hopefully this won't be the last time we chat. Let's keep in touch and see if there's further things to discuss in the future. So I'll take you both out of shot. Please don't disappear just now. That's David gone. That's Ryan gone. That's just me back in shot. Very quick wash up. We're on the 28-minute point. Firstly, huge thanks, massive thanks to Ceres Tag, to David and Ryan there, who have provided what I found to be a fascinating insight into the Ceres Tag product. I think what's the beauty to me is the simplicity. If it's simple and it's straightforward and it does what it says on the tin, then it's a win-win situation. But then there's all those other benefits. So it's going to detect the unusual movement. It will learn your herd. It's clever stuff. And when things happen that are not expected, when there's things moving, when there's acceleration, the quick alerting to both the land and stock owner and law enforcement is absolutely fantastic. People are going to get caught. They're not going to get away. And you saw that little video where stuff came back really, really quickly. How cool is that? Thieves bringing back their stolen property. Unbelievable. And then all those other advantages on pasture management, feed, methane. It's got so much more than just the ability to detect crime and stock being stolen. So thanks to both David and Ryan for joining me today. I'm going to put links to Ceres Tag and the products and the website in the show notes afterwards. So please, as I mentioned before, go and have a look at that. Leave some comments. If you have any questions, put them in the actual YouTube comments box, and we'll make sure that they get forwarded to Ceres Tag, David and Ryan there. And anything else, just reach out. Before I go, it would be a remiss of me not to mention two other things. So my work here in the United Kingdom and in Southern Ireland is devoted to two things: rural crime prevention and stopping people getting hurt and injured in farming and in agriculture and on landed estates. And with that in mind, I want to remind you, if I may please, of our training courses very, very briefly. We've got our internationally accredited rural crime prevention course. If you go to www.ruralcrimetraining.co.uk or ruralcrimes.com, you'll find links to our course there. It's a very straightforward online course with some brilliant information in there, small bite-sized chapters aimed at common sense things and practical measures that you can take in your environment to prevent you becoming a victim of crime. It's very, very straightforward, but it's those simple things that matter. Locking doors, locking fuel supplies, locking gates, tagging your animals, like we've been discussing here with the guys from Ceres Tag. So please go and have a look at that. And then the only other one to mention is, in addition to ruralcrimetraining.co.uk, we've got farmsafetytraining.co.uk. And in there, we've got some unique courses. These are, as far as I'm aware, the only ones globally where we've incorporated 3D interactivity. You can come into the farm, so you work your way through the chapters, and eventually you can actually come into the farm, get up close and personal with the animals, and walk around just like you can when you're working your way through Google Street View. It's the same technology. So that's our farm safety training. If you've got any questions, give me a shout. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, please. Leave any comments, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.